Alright, before I get into the video, I want to say a few things. Thank you viewer for taking the time to look at my video, it means a lot. Also make sure to subscribe if you are new here. Entitled Kid Threatens to Punch Me. Entitled Kid Threatens to Punch Me. Op equals me EK equals entitled kid EC equals entitled cousin. Okay, now on with the story. Here are some background information. It was my 10th birthday party and I was swimming at Riverwinds Community Center. I had also gone there for my 8th birthday party and I recommend it for any other birthday party that you want to go to at this time. I think it's fantastic. So it had to set up where around the stairs into the pool it has little current set in a circle in the middle of the current was a whirlpool. It's harder for younger children to get out of the whirlpool or the current insert a small door out of the whirlpool and out to the regular pool, and it's still hard for people like me who are older. Now on to the story. So I was waiting in the line like everyone else and I ended up waiting 10 more minutes for EK who was in the whirlpool. We are only supposed to be there for a short amount of time made by our own rules since we know what it feels like to be left out there for a while. Eventually we had had enough of her name calling and started to try to get physical to pull her out. She started yelling words that I'm not gonna say. Next EK said she said that since we interfered she could stay in there as long as she wants. Since she was resisting us who are pulling her out of the whirlpool, she is also pulling us in and the current is going towards, which mean that we have to stop ourselves from going in there as well. She ended up pulling in a kid with autism and 2 other girls who got out of the whirlpool. When EK sees them she screamed and starts yelling at them saying it's only made for one person allowed to be in here. But EK couldn't get the kid with autism out since he couldn't swim. A lifeguard had to get the kid with autism out and he had to literally grab her and pull her out of the whirlpool. Next we all took turns going in the whirlpool and I thought it was all over, maybe a nice funny story to tell my parents, but nope. Of course not. Well, when I was still waiting in line since we had gathered quite the line while EK was in the whirlpool, a kid maybe around the age of 4 or 5 who was wearing a whole bunch of floaties came over to me and said I had cut his cousin, and I said, oh, I'm so sorry, can you bring her over to me so I can forgive her? I don't remember cutting anyone, but it was probably an accident. He said okay and brought over EK. It took a while for him to bring over his cousin. Once he finally did it I was disappointed in who I saw. EK started yelling at me telling how much I hurt her and that I deserved to be scraped, but no, I deserve to be punched in the face. I said that you better not, and she said, well, if you touch me again then I will, and my dad knows karate and he has a gun. Well, this whole time I was just trying to explain to her that it was an accident that I had scratched her while you were trying to grab her out of the whirlpool since he was in there way too long. At this point I was half like full of laughs because of the nerve this entitled kid had, and half actually scared because she was threatening me with punching me in the face, though I didn't think she actually would do it. It was a lifeguard nearby and everyone's watching her. Well, in the middle of her being very rude to me, calling me extremely rude names, the alarm went off for me to go to my birthday party. I was glad that was done with and I didn't see her after that point. I hope you have a great week, a great day and a great evening. Bye. M doesn't give anything to her daughter on her birthday but expects gifts on Mother's Day. Hi there folks. I've been a long time lurker and thought that I should finally post my mom's entitled parent story, and yes, she said that I could. Also I'm on mobile, so yeah. Anyways, here we go. Cast, me equals me, M equals the demon, M equals my amazing mom. So for Christmas and my mother's birthday my grandma, M, didn't get my mom anything and said she was too busy. She just didn't care. But then on Mother's Day M decides to come to our state, and when she gets there she tells my mom she's in town, and all my mom said on the phone was okay, and she hung up and just went oh shit and walked out of the room. Then my grandma gets there and the conversation goes a bit like this. M, hey M. M, hi M, so today's Mother's Day, did you get me anything? M, no, you never got me anything and you just ignored me. M, whining, well, why do you need anything? I'm old and I could die any day. She's in her late 60s. M, you didn't choose to care about me on Christmas or my birthday, and you only come visiting us because you want a gift. You don't even come to see the kids. M, Well, you should have gotten me something because I'm your mother and I deserve it. M. No, you don't deserve anything, you never visit us and you hardly care about me. You never call even when I try to call you, so why should we do anything for you? M. Then screw you, you ungrateful brat. I'm leaving. M. Good. After that M leaves and we haven't really talked to her since, but my mom and my grandmother never had the best relationship. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the story. TL. DRM comes expecting gifts and then gets angry because her daughter didn't get her anything after M ignored her. A mother made my school bus driver cry and murdered her spirit over special presents. My mom just reminded me of this. I don't remember every detail because I was 5/6 when this went down, but I do remember how bummed kids were after. Okay, so when I was 5/6, 1997, I rode the bus to and from school. Our bus driver was an older lady named Marge. I only remember her name because of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and she was a super nice lady. She didn't have kids, so I think she thought of kids on her route as her makeshift grandkids. She got to know most of the kids that rode routinely and would give gifts on birthdays and special presents to some kids, not all, on Christmas or Hanukkah. Now, we all knew about the special presents. The older kids had told the younger kids, and it seemed like a general rule that some kids got small wrapped gifts, like the size of an iPhone box, nothing big, and the rest of us got candy canes. I don't remember exactly what year this event happened. I think I was maybe in the first grade, because I was very aware of the special gifts, and I know I had gotten a Barbie doll from her on my birthday, which landed just before school let out for summer break. Anyway, this happened just before Christmas break. Marge had already given special presents to the kids she always gave them to. It was after school, we were being dropped off at the bus stop, it was raining really hard, and I was already in a grumpy mood because the wind blew my umbrella inside out. Marge pulled up at the sidewalk, reminded us to put on our jackets and hoods, which caused her to take a few seconds to open the door. That's when this crazy entitled mother starts rapping her knuckles on the door, like really hard. Marge pulled that lever that opens the door, and even before it could open all the way, this M shoves the door open and stomps on and, according to my mom, shouts, "Why do you give presents to 4 kids and not my kids?" I honestly don't remember what this woman had said. I remember her yelling and all of us are silent and watching. My mom hears Marge say, "Excuse me." This M begins on a tirade of calling Marge a predator and accusing her of nepotism, which made her look extremely uncomfortable. As my mom said, she looked like she was shocked in odd way. The M then says, "Are you touching these kids? Is that it? You're a molester. She's a goddamn molester." That's when someone's father gets on and yanks that crazy bitch off. I remember seeing her vanish like a magic trick, and then looking at Marge, who was crying. My sweet OL bus driver was openly weeping and sobbing. It was sad and uncomfortable because at my age I didn't know what to do and I barely talked, so I didn't know what to say or if I should say anything to Marge. Marge allowed us to get off. I kept my head down as I passed her, feeling this achy feeling in my chest. Outside, the M was yelling that it wasn't fair that only 4 families riders that Marge knew, almost personally, got gifts for Christmas and her 2 kids only got a stupid fucking candy cane. I do remember that part. I remember thinking, lady, we all got candy canes, so what? My mom walked me home, and just as we turned the corner a cop car came up the street. His lights weren't on, he kinda like crept by, if that makes sense. My mom had shaken her head and said, "Can you believe that crazy bitch? Is she sick in the head?" The next week, last week of school, we had a sub driver. We had him until February. Marge returned, and she seemed to have lost her chipperness, like, she didn't come off as open and sweet like before. She stopped giving gifts altogether, and she didn't get involved or ask us about our home lives or our families anymore either. She was my bus driver until I moved 3 years later. I wonder if she's still alive. That entitled mom didn't show up after that one time. I don't think I ever met her kids or knew who they even were. But yeah, that crazy woman kinda murdered my bus driver's spirit. Sorry it was so long. Edit. Okay, so me and my mom figured out this happened when I was 6, 1998, and in first grade. This edit may seem irrelevant, but I was really trying to remember how old I was and what was going on in my life. Last time I saw Marge was in 2001, I hope she's still alive somewhere out there and is still as nice as I remember her being. The same M tries to take my Switch again. TL, DR, M and EK tries to take my Switch by claiming it's theirs to random people. Sorry if bad English. I'm on mobile. So in my previous post, I mentioned how M tried to take my Switch twice in the same day. Well, this one was actually recent. Due to COVID, stores in my area requires you to stand in a line 2 meters away from each other. Well, 2 days ago, me and my mom went out to buy some fish food and conditioners, step 2 and 3. We were standing in line and I was playing on my Switch because it was a long line. I was playing SSBU. I had all the DLC characters, besides Piranha Plant. When it was my mom's turn to go inside, she told me to wait outside because she didn't want me to catch the virus. She had gloves but I didn't. It was the last pair. So I waited. Then arrives the same M and EK. They weren't wearing masks or gloves. I had my mask but no gloves because I didn't really plan on touching random things in the store or anywhere else, and it feels weird when you try to play on the Switch with them on, and again, my mom had the last pair. They noticed me right away. This is how the conversation went. Op, a random person with his Switch, it's me, M, entitled mother, EK, entitled kid. M, hey, are you that same kid from the mall? Op, oh, hi. I guess it has been a while since we met. EK, hey Op. Op, yeah. EK, I got a Switch with SSBU. Are you jealous? Op, did you forget I already have that game? And no, I'm not. EK, I also got Joker, part of the DLC. Op, me who is about to flex on him. Oh, that's nice. I already have him and the rest of the fighter pass. EK's jaw dropped. EK, prove it. I then show him Joker, Hero, Banjo-Kazooie, Terry, and Byleth. We were still 2 meters apart. M, how did you get more people than my son? Op, because I bought them. M, well, if you have enough money to buy them, then you surely have money to buy more. Op, what do you mean? M, what I mean is that you can buy more of the people for my son. Op, oh heck no lady. I'm not buying your son more DLC. I worked hard for the money, I get the money, then pay my mom the amount to buy the DLC. She will buy anything as long as I pay. EK, then give me your Switch so you don't have to pay more and I get the rest of the DLC. Op, I'm not doing that either. M, oh come on, let him take your Switch. He will be so bored. Op, then why don't you buy the DLC characters for him? M, because it's too expensive. Op, and yet you bought him a console that is over $300 plus a DLC. M was silent at that point. She then whispered something to EK. Not even seconds after the whisper. EK, help. He stole my Switch. Nearby people heard him and 2 of them arrived to see what was happening, still 2 meters away from each other. I knew what EK was trying to do. R1, random dude, R2, the other random dude. R1, what's happening here? M, this brat stole my son's Switch. R1, Op, give his Switch back. R2, yeah man, don't do that to him. He is just a kid. Op, but this is my Switch. I can prove it. First, he already has a Switch. Second, I can tell you the details of this Switch. I noticed the little piece of sh*t, EK, hid the Switch in his mom's purse. Op, you can check her purse. R1 and R2 listened to the details I mentioned and checked my switch to prove it. R1, stop bothering him, and don't worry, I won't go through your belongings inside your purse. Op already proved that it's his switch. R2, as for you EK, don't you dare try to pull that stunt off again. Just then, my mom came out of the store with the food and conditioners. She called out to me to leave, so I did. I told my mom that it was the same lady from the mall. She then asked me how many more I have encountered. I answered plenty. Sorry if this was long. I hoped you enjoyed. I'll be posting more stories soon. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you haven't done yet. Thanks for watching.